pain that you go through when you first start arm wrestling is unlike any sport I've ever come across. The tendons just aren't ready for that kind of torture, and for the first 3 months, you'll spend at night thinking something's wrong with you that's never been wrong with anybody else in the world.
Hey everybody, it's Danielle and I'm back with a new CaliFaces video for you. Today I'm out here with Scott Warren, who's the director of the World Arm Wrestling League, the WAL. He's also a top-ranked professional arm wrestler here in California. So he's going to talk to you today about how he became a champion arm wrestler. He's going to show you how anybody can become an arm wrestler, men, women, doesn't matter. And he's also going to give you some tips on how you can arm wrestle safe without any injuries, but making sure that you win every match. Here he is.
My name is Scott Warren. I'm a professional arm wrestler. I've been arm wrestling at a competitive level for 3 years. I turned pro about 1.5 years ago, and currently I am one of the top-ranked left hands in the state of California.
How do you become top-ranked?
Well, there's competitions that happen throughout the state, throughout the year, and we sort of created our own ranking system for the state. In the sense of Facebook online ranking systems, and you beat the guys that are ranked above you consistently, and you get to take their ranking. In an arm wrestling match, I come to the table aggressive. I'm thinking about what my opponent wants to do to me, and I'm knowing that I want to do it to him twice as bad, twice as fast, and twice as hard. Stepping to the table, there's a few techniques that people use. I like to wrap my leg around the pole here and use my hip to create and generate more leverage. I'll place my elbow on a place on the pad where I know I have room to travel. I don't ever plan to go that way, so I set my elbow here to give myself as much momentum as I can when they say go. Few of the myths people think there are in arm wrestling is that using your body is cheating, or covering your thumb is cheating. There's just so many things that people see in a real arm wrestling match and they justify as cheating because they don't know how to do it. So to debunk those, yes, you can use your body weight in arm wrestling. The only rules is your hand stays on the peg, one foot stays on the ground, and your elbow stays on the elbow pad.
Did you do any type of bodybuilding or before this?
I never did any bodybuilding. A lot of the competitors do bodybuilding style workouts. A lot of them came from bodybuilding and got an injury, so they went into arm wrestling. Some of them just enjoyed arm wrestling more than bodybuilding, and so now they stick with arm wrestling. Is
there anything associated with like steroids? I'm sure people probably think, oh, they're on steroids and stuff like that. Do you get that a lot?
Yeah, I would say that probably between 50 and 75% of the top level athletes in our sport use some sort of performance enhancement drug.
Okay. And is that just common knowledge? It's not?
It's just common knowledge.
Okay.
It's common knowledge in the arm wrestling world. Walking into a match, my first assessment is to see how big my opponent's hand is. Is it bigger than mine, longer than mine, is it thicker than mine? And I'll make my way down his wrist, his forearm, to his bicep, and try to figure out where his weakest point is so that I can attack there. So with my personal technique, I'm what you call a top roller. So I'll come in and I like to keep my hand as high as possible so that in that moment when they tell me to close my hand, when I do close my hand, my knuckle's on top of his knuckle. So I can come out this way over his hand and top roll him.
Okay, we got Kayla and Mackenzie giving away some tickets over here. There's 7 for 5, 17 for 10, 40 for 20. We're getting our final folks in. And in just a moment, we'll pick a ticket. Whatever ticket we pick, that person can come up and choose from Trout, Kershaw. This guy over here was the #1 pick in the draft by the Rams. And in the entire NFL, his name is Goff. We got Patriots and much, much more. We'll pick that ticket shortly. Also, I want to let you know we'll be here every Thursday.
What about the regular guys that see you and they want to do this? Can they?
The regular guys that see us and want to do this are exactly who we were before we started. We always were the guys that never lost in the bar. Thanksgiving with our cousins, we would arm wrestle until our arms just didn't move anymore. And we thought we were undefeated. We all thought we were undefeated. And then we run into some guys that arm wrestle and we find out that we're not undefeated and we have a long way to go. But because we're competitive and because we have the drive to keep learning and get stronger, we stick with it, and the adrenaline rush in arm wrestling is as close as you can get to a fist fight without getting in trouble. Forms of improper techniques that I see often used is elbow down on the table, somebody puts their shoulder right up next to their hand, and they look the opposite direction. When they do this, it causes the pressure to revert to the humerus. It only takes 6 pounds of pressure to break this bone. Like I said before, 2014 and 15, I saw 10 arms break because of improper technique. Another thing people do improperly, well, they'll let their arm get completely away from them and not give up. And they'll end up here like this, and it, again, only 6 pounds, snap the humerus. Oftentimes people think that when there's an injury in arm wrestling, a lot of these viral videos that we've seen, they think their arm breaks here. It doesn't. This bone never breaks in arm wrestling. This is one of the strongest bones in the body. This bone breaks because this is one of the weakest bones in the body. 6 pounds of torque and it snaps, and it's a 9-month recovery. So we always try to make sure when we're training new people that they stay as safe as possible, and they avoid doing things like this or letting go of the peg. All these things can result in injury.
Letting go of the peg can result in injury?
Yeah, because when you let go of the peg, your body turns. When your body turns, your shoulder opens, and all of that pressure goes again to this bone. When we're getting ready for a big competition, we train 7 days a week, 2-3 times a day, various exercises. There's tons of stuff we do. We use hammers, we use weights, tires, ropes, big, thick, heavy ropes, rubber bands, and then we're on the table at least 1,000 times a week with somebody. This is a teammate of mine. His name's Louis Vaith. He is one heck of a strong arm wrestler. Fairly new to the game because he goes in and out of powerlifting, but in general, got a really long arm, really strong hand, and the more he sticks with arm wrestling, the stronger he gets. So he's one of my favorite guys to train with.
Is this the same if you were to switch sides?
Yes, the table's symmetrical. So what I'm feeling on this side is exactly the same thing that he's feeling on his side. The only difference, unfortunately for the new guys, they don't know this. I'll let the secret out of the bag. The only difference is one of the referees will have this particular strap on their side of the table. So if the strap is over here, that means when they tie this strap to our hands, this metal buckle will be on the back of my hand, which is not where I want it. So the only difference in the sides of the table is which arm wrestler is going to get the buckle on the back of their hand, which really does affect an arm wrestling match.
And the buckle, the strap, what is?
Okay, the strap in an arm wrestling match, to me, is a key component of learning how to arm wrestle. If your hands slip grip at any time during a match, they apply the strap. They put your hands together and they use the strap. They'll use this strap to tie our hands together.
And this happens when?
This happens in the event that two opponents' hands slip grip.
Oh.
So the strap will be applied just like we're doing here. What we got going on. So they'll strap our hands together like this. Now our hands can't slip grip no matter what we do. And if you look here on the back of my hand, come down, you'll see I have the buckle on the back of my hand. So when the referee pulls this to tighten the buckle, he turns my hand upside down, which is not what I want. I don't want my hand upside down in any case in an arm wrestling match. I always want my hand to be on top. I want my opponent's hand to be upside down.
What do you enjoy the most about arm wrestling?
I enjoy the adrenaline. I'm an adrenaline junkie, and there's nothing to me like standing 28 inches away from a guy that wants to literally rip your arm off, and you want to rip his off just as bad.